Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. And yeah, this time I am ready to give my initial impressions on AC Shadows. I have over 20 hours of gameplay done within the game. I'm still pretty much still playing as Naue. We still haven't run into Yasuke yet, but I've been doing a lot of like side exploration, side assassination questing and things like that. So I kind of have a good feel for the game and what it's like. And yeah, so pretty much like the question is the game really bad as people are making it out to be, or is the game really good, or is the game good? Well, the game is okay, right? It's not bad, right? Like it's bad because of the obvious reasons, right? The forced DEI stuff, the inclusivity stuff and all that. It is making the experience bad, which is unfortunate, right? Like the decisions Ubisoft decided to make, like obviously it's making difficult to like the game when the game does have a little bit to offer, right? So those kind of stuff will ruin the experience. But let's talk a little bit about like what actually does make the game a little bit good, right? So the exploration, the combat, right? The combat and the stealth approach in the game is quite nice, I would say. I think it shows that they have done work on it, although there are bugs. But then again, nowadays, which game is not on bugs? It does not release with bugs, right? But then again, once again, this is an expensive game, right? This is what 70 bucks, 70 buck game, right? So because of that, you do expect these guys to deliver a little bit. And yeah, that is the other problem, because this game is not finished. You can clearly tell it's not finished, because at certain times, cutscene animations, facial animations, dialogue, it's like way off, out of sync audio and things like that occur. So yeah, I mean, you could see some of the things which Ubisoft did work on with their double delays, but as I said, I feel like this game should have been delayed till late this year, or maybe next year, right? I said it in my previous videos, but then again, it is what it is. And yeah, so the game does have some interesting things, right? So the exploring, the side assassination, the questing, the other things, the other people you can find in world, like so random NPCs. You offer them money for information and things like that. You go exploring, go look for the viewpoints, go hit the bandit camps, go hit the fortresses. Yeah, it's quite interesting that way. Like when you take the stealth approach, stealth can be very rewarding, or you could still do full combat if you want to, but stealth is quite rewarding. So I'm glad that they maintain that to a certain level, that they reward your stealth approach. um but yeah, in addition to that, like so so far we've finished the prologue. We've done two main assassinations, right? Two Templar assassinations. They're not called Templar in this, but I'm just going to say Templars because it simplifies like what I'm trying to say. Then basically the main bad group, right? So, and so far what I can tell is like the story is really boring, right? Like the intro prologue, the title cutscene to everything, like the way they introduce us to Naoi, the way they introduce us to Yasuke, and the way they introduce us to the Templars and all that is like, I don't know, like why is it so like badly done? There's like zero hype in the cutscenes. You don't feel any emotion, no sense of suspense, no thrill, no. There's nothing, like everything feels very anticlimactic. I don't know like why Ubisoft finds it so hard to like write good stories or write good cutscenes. Like, yeah, they just have bad script writers, right? Because if you compare this to, and we will compare because it's only right for such an expensive game, to things like Ghost of Tsushima, to previous Assassin's Creed games which have done better, right? um so I said the combat is good, right? Because it is not as bad as Assassin's Creed Mirage. If you guys remember how what combat was like in Assassin's Creed Mirage, it was horrendous, right? It was, you were like, it was like you were controlling a block of granite. uh, very It was lacking so many things, right? It was just such a awful combat system. No fluidity, and it wasn't very fluid and all that. But yeah, this, they've improved that. It's much better. The parkering system is much better now. The park up and down, and they brought it back. but they said they improved it, but like it's like they're using the same. I expected them to like have several animations, but it's fine. It's just nitpicking. That's just a little nitpick, but it's okay. So those improvements can be seen. Um, but yeah, everything else feels a bit unfinished. They do a lot of repetitive stuff, like every fortress you're gonna see like this over here as well. There's gonna be like over here you can see it, an overarching tree, right? Now, seeing this for the first time is nice. Oh, you're presented with an opportunity you to use this tree to sneak into the fortress. But then you're gonna find this tree at every fortress. It's just like they are zero like there's a moat, right? I expect there to be like some underwater thing you could find. So far, like maybe there could be, I haven't found, but I'm just saying. Maybe like an underwater where you can swim from underneath the castle and get into the sewers or something, or find other ways to scale the wall. Like different approaches, but every single fortress you find this tree. I'm like, come on, yeah, like they can be a little bit more creative than that, right? So yeah, so the stealth approach, everything is quite good. There's so many things to take into consideration before attacking. You can't just run in and jump and kill people, just stab people just like that. So, and I hate that Assassin's Creed did this, but they did this since I think Origins, right? Like before, you could anyone can be assassinated, right? But there were big targets or small. I mean, I guess not big targets. There were certain targets you couldn't assassinate because of their size and stuff. But like as of late, like in Assassin's Creed games, like when you assassinate, I expect it to be a one-hit KO, no matter what armor they're wearing, right? But they added it. They made it like a health-based value, right? Not in this game. It happened like a few games. Like I think it happened Origins onwards. If you assassinate, sometimes they might not die, but they'll just get a little. It's like a damage to the HP bar, right? Like that just takes away from the word assassinate, right? Like it's just an attack at that point and not an assassinate. So like I feel like assassinations needs to be an assassination, right? But then again, it's just a nitpick. Um, yeah, but everything else, like I mean, like everything else about the exploring feels good. The combat feels good, right? It's not bad at all. So you could tailor made the experience to for you to enjoy it, right? I would highly recommend to play this in the immersive mode. So you play it in Japanese, because the English voice acting for some reason it's really bad, right? It's really bad to listen to the dialogue in English. I'm not sure because if it's intended, but if for whatever reason it's bad, there's out of sync audio. Cutscenes are really badly done. Facial animations are way off. Like sometimes, like when you're looking at people's faces, you're not sure what's happening. Are they trying to show emotion? Are they not? Like it's just either bland, or it's like an eye twitching, or something's happening with the face, the mouth. It's really weird, right? So I mean, like you could tell that it's still not finished, right? But then again, not surprised, right? People of this day and age, it's okay saying that it's okay to finish out an unfinished product. That's when you begin to wonder, like, were the double delays even valid at this point, right? Like you can see that they made improvements, but it doesn't seem like they made that many improvements. But the game does perform well, right? It's going okay, right? There's no like game breaking bugs or anything like that. There are bugs, but like nothing breaking or that blocks quest progression or anything like that. The gear system is quite overwhelming, I would say. Like, I mean, like that is expected. Like, I think it's been the same for like since Assassin's Creed Origins or yeah Odyssey. Yeah, the overwhelming gear system where they just keep throwing gear at you for every level, and next thing you know it, your inventory is filled with gear. There's no quality of life improvements to get rid of the excess gear. You could sell or dismantle them, but it takes so long to dismantle and sell them because of how the menu is laid out. So it's such a cumbersome task to get rid of excess gear with you, and it just breaks your flow, right? Each time you get a gear piece, you like, and the rate at which you earn gear pieces are just so much. You just stop every like now and then, right? It just breaks the rhythm of what you're trying to do. You just end up pausing the game every time checking what gear you have. Is it high level? Is it better stats? Swapping it out, going back, kill a guy, earn another gear, pause the game again. So you just end up stopping your gameplay every time just to check if you earn, like, if you got better gear or not. So I find that really annoying that they do this. And yeah, um, so yeah, like you take all this, right, the unfinished cutscenes, animations, facials, bad storytelling, dialogue, uh, but good combat, good exploration, good side assassination stuff which you can find, good things to find out. Like the meditation stuff is really nice. The drawing mini game, I wish they had a proper mini game for the drawing stuff, because yeah, sneaking up on the animal or whatever it is you're trying to draw and doing the drawing is fine, but I wish they had a little bit of a mini game involved there just to make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, that's all fine. Exploring the world is quite fine, but on top of all this, you add all the obvious, DEI bullshit and all the forced inclusivity things that they're trying to do, especially in a time of ancient Japan when these things are not even there, or maybe not even remotely there, or remotely even discussed or frowned upon, or whatever it is, right? Like, so yeah, it's really, it just ruins the immersive experience, right? But then again, this is a role playing. You can still play the game without like forcing yourself to go through things like this. Then there's like the obvious Yasuke situation. Like I've said it before, right? Yasuke would, like, saying when they first announced Yasuke as a protagonist, I said that this will just turn off a lot of people. It's just, right. You're just trying to do something which is not needed. And yeah, like if they wanted to include Yasuke, they could have easily done by making him a. They can make him a prominent figure, but in the assassin order, right? Making him the protagonist and stuff like that, because Naoe is the actual assassin here, right? She's part of the order, so she has the bleeding effect, right? She has the eagle vision and everything. So so far they're trying to like hype him up, right? They're trying to hype him up like in the prologue and everything. So far we haven't played we just played him a little bit in the prologue, but not so much because we haven't come across him yet. Like the stories haven't intertwined yet. We're playing a lot of noise. But at the beginning you could tell that they were trying to like really hype him, like try to show like, okay, this is the guy, right? But yeah, I mean, the story has been very dull and bland so far. It's quite boring to follow on. I'm hoping like it does twist and pick up at some point, but so far like the main story, assassinations, everything has been like, this is supposed to be like personal to Naoya, right? She's like on a vengeance path, but you don't exactly feel it. She is on it, but her emotions, her voice acting, the dialogue she's going through, it's not there is the problem. So I mean, we'll see how it goes, right? Just small things here, like all these combat systems are fine, but like sometimes like enemies are able to do non-blockable. I can expect non-blockable strikes, but unblockable kicks and stuff is just a bit weird sometimes. But yeah, it is what it is. So if I were to give this game a rating, I would give it like a 6.5, because it is not that bad, right? You can just enjoy the little things that the game does offer to enjoy, and yeah, and everything else you'll just need to block it out of your head, I guess. So I'll be doing my best to wrap up Assassin's Creed Shadows as quickly as I can, so that I can prep myself for the next game. But so far, yeah, that's been my experience. I really wanted this game to like have at least a good story to tell, but so far the story has been quite dull and boring to follow. Like, we all remember how Ghost of Tsushima started, right? And how amazing and epic those cutscenes were. That's what we can like expect from this as well. Like, I mean, people might say it's unfair to directly compare, but we have to directly compare because of the pricing this game is at, and at the level this game is supposed to deliver. Um, But then again, all the issues this game is facing, all the scrutiny this game is facing, I would just blame it on Ubisoft management and not even on the devs. I don't know how much the devs have control over these things, but I would just blame on management, on them actually saying okay to shit like this. I mean, at least like, just, you've already delayed the game, just delay it a little bit more to fix, simple things like these as well. Like, the like, fix the dialogue, fix the animations, like, get some better script writers or whatever, right? Just try to tell a good story. But yeah, there's already failing in that department as well. So yeah, that's about it. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video. Till next time, then, bye bye.